All right, everybody, ready to dive in. We're tackling a career path that's hotter than ever right now. Product and Services Manager.
And it's about time. This is a role that's often misunderstood. People hear product manager and they're like, so you make stuff.
Right, like it's important, but what do they actually do all day? Well, thankfully, we've got a mountain of sources to unpack here, from detailed guides to interview prep materials, even profiles of those killing it at the top of their game.
So we're not just skimming the surface, we're going deep.
Deep dive it is. And one source actually called it shaping and curating a company's offerings, which
I like that.
that sounds kind of fancy, right?
It does. But it also hints at the organizational skills needed.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's not just about having a creative vision, though that's important. It's about translating that vision into a tangible product or service.
And that takes serious organization.
Absolutely. And that's where those detail-oriented skills come in.
So it's a blend of big picture thinking and meticulous planning.
Exactly. They're the bridge between what customers want, what the company needs, and what's actually feasible.
Okay, so not just a brain full of sticky notes, but knowing how those notes build a skyscraper, that's a high-pressure gig.
It can be, and our sources mention that a lot of the work happens in traditional office settings, though it seems like remote work is becoming increasingly common.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a solo gig, right? We saw a lot about constant cross-team collaboration.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine going from brainstorming with the marketing team 1 minute to deep diving into technical specs with the developers the next.
Yeah, that's a lot of hats to wear.
It is, and that's what makes this role so dynamic. You're at the intersection of so many different departments, all working towards a common goal.
Sounds exhilarating, but also potentially exhausting, right?
Right. You have to be comfortable with, maybe even thrive on, that fast-paced, ever-changing environment.
And the sources definitely didn't shy away from the challenges. Long hours, high stakes, the pressure to constantly be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. Burnout is a real concern if you don't prioritize things like work-life balance and self-care.
It's like that saying, work hard, play hard, but you gotta make sure the play hard part actually happens.
Exactly. Can't pour from an empty cup.
So true. But that high demand also comes with, some pretty sweet rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Our sources highlighted competitive salaries, incredible growth potential.
Not to mention the satisfaction of seeing your work have a real impact.
That's got to feel good. So we've established it's a challenging but potentially very rewarding career path. But how does one even climb this ladder? Thankfully, we've got insights into every level, from entry level all the way up to director.
And it's fascinating to see how the skill set evolves at each stage. Like entry level might involve supporting market research, maybe documenting product details.
Getting your hands dirty,
Yeah.
learning the ropes.
Exactly. But as you progress, you're the one shaping the entire product strategy, forecasting trends years down the line.
Talk about big picture thinking.
Big picture, long-term vision. It's a whole other level.
And thank goodness we have those real-world profiles to illustrate this, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's one thing to say director level.
Right.
But it's another to see what Sarah, with her background in, say, data analysis and her passion for sustainable products, actually does all day. It makes it real.
And those profiles really highlight how crucial adaptability is in this field. The business landscape, especially with the rise of e-commerce and digital marketing, it's constantly shifting.
Right, like you really need to be comfortable with change to make it in this world.
Absolutely. A successful product and services manager is someone who can not only keep up with those changes, but embrace them, maybe even anticipate them.
So it's not just about knowing a product inside and out anymore. It's about knowing how that product lives online,
Yeah.
how it's marketed, how customers interact with it digitally.
That's a whole new ballgame.
It really is. And this is where that digital-first mindset comes into play, which, by the way, sounds super official and maybe a little intimidating, but it's something we're going to unpack in more detail later on.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to break it down so you understand exactly what it means and why it's so crucial in today's world.
Because it's not just about being good with technology. It's a whole approach to product development, right?
Absolutely. Thinking about how everything translates to the digital world, from the initial design phase to the user experience, it's essential.
Speaking of essential, let's talk about preparing for a career in this field, especially the ever so daunting interview process. Now, this is where one of our sources, RoleCatcher, really caught my eye.
Oh, RoleCatcher. They're doing some really innovative things in the career development space.
They are. What stood out to me was their focus on practical preparation. So yeah, they have a massive database of interview questions, which is great.
Super helpful to have that as a starting point, for sure.
Right, but the real game changer is this AI-powered practice tool they offer. Like, imagine being able to record your responses to common interview questions and then receive personalized feedback on both your content and delivery.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Right, and it takes the guesswork out of prepping. You're not just practicing in a vacuum, you're getting real-time feedback on how you can improve.
It's so much more effective than just practicing in front of the mirror. And what I appreciate about RoleCatcher is that they don't just give you generic advice. They emphasize understanding what interviewers are truly looking for.
So it's not just about having the right answers. It's about showcasing your skills and experience in a way that resonates with what the company needs.
Exactly. It's about telling your story in a way that highlights your value and how you can contribute to their team.
So it's like, yes, have those core skills,
Hmm?
but also know how to package and present them effectively.
You got it. And speaking of skills, our sources highlighted a few recurring ones that are essential for success in this field. Analytical thinking, communication, a deep understanding of customer needs. Oh, and let's not forget market research.
It's like a whole symphony of skills coming together.
And that's what makes it so exciting. You're constantly using different parts of your brain, flexing different muscles.
Yeah.
1 minute you're deep in data analysis, the next you're leading a brainstorming session. It's a role that demands both intellectual agility and strong interpersonal skills.
Yeah, you got to be able to crunch numbers and win over a room.
Exactly. It's a dynamic mix that keeps things interesting.
Which actually reminds me of that saying, the best product and services managers can sell ice to an Eskimo. Like, you need to be convincing and analytical and creative all at once.
And that's a great example of how the skills you learn in this role, they're so transferable. Even if you eventually decide to switch to a completely different career path, those core competencies, problem solving, communication, data analysis, those are valuable everywhere.
It's like this role is a launch pad for, well, almost anything. Speaking of launching careers, RoleCatcher, the platform we mentioned earlier, they're not just for aspiring product and services managers, right? They've got resources like tailored CV and resume building tools, stuff that could benefit anyone looking for a career change or even just, a boost in their current field.
Oh, absolutely. And they even have this feature that allows employers to actually find you based on your skills and experience. It's like flipping the script on traditional job hunting.
Okay, that's kind of a game changer. Talk about putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
But even with all the tools and resources in the world, it really boils down to passion, right? I mean, all of our sources, they really emphasize that those who truly thrive in this field, they're deeply passionate about their work.
100%. You can teach skills, but you can't teach passion. It's that fire in your belly. It's that intrinsic drive to create, to innovate, to really make an impact, and that's what sets the best apart.
Speaking of impact, one of the most fascinating things we've come across in this deep dive is how much the role is being shaped by industry trends. Like the rise of e-commerce, for example, that's huge.
It's a digital revolution, and it requires a fundamental shift in thinking. We're no longer just talking about physical products. It's about crafting these seamless online experiences.
So forget those coding classes I was putting off. Maybe I need to sign up like tomorrow. But seriously, it sounds like being adaptable, like really being comfortable with learning new technologies, that's crucial in this rapidly evolving world.
It's non-negotiable at this point. The product and services manager of the future. They're tech-savvy, they're data-driven, they can navigate the complexities of the digital world without breaking a sweat. But it's not just about technical skills. You have to have your finger on the pulse of what's next.
Which brings us back to that whole digital-first mindset thing. Can we dig into that a little bit more? Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Okay, so imagine you're designing an app. A digital-first mindset means thinking about things like the user interface, accessibility on various devices, how seamlessly it integrates with other popular apps, all from the get-go.
So it's about anticipating user needs in a digital world and building those considerations into every single stage of a product's lifecycle.
Exactly.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
It's challenging, too. It requires constant learning, experimentation, a willingness to embrace new ideas and new technologies.
Which, let's be honest, keeps things interesting, right?
Always.
But let's shift gears for a second, talk about something else that really stood out from our research. The importance of truly understanding customer needs.
Ah, yes, the heart and soul of product management, right. You're not just creating something to exist in a vacuum. You're creating something for real people with real needs, real desires.
And in today's world where people have like A million choices at their fingertips. Really understanding those needs is critical for success.
It's more than critical. It's everything. It's not enough to simply create a great product. It has to solve a problem. It has to meet a need or enhance someone's life in a meaningful, tangible way.
So it's not just about features and functionalities, it's about empathy. It's about connecting with your target audience on an emotional level.
Yes, 100%. You need to be able to step into your customer's shoes, understand their pain points, their aspirations, and then translate those insights into a product or service that truly resonates with them.
And that, if you really think about it, that's a skill that goes way beyond any specific profession. Whether you're a teacher, a doctor, an artist, understanding your audience, that's paramount.
Couldn't agree more. It's fundamental to human connection, that ability to see things from another person's perspective. It's a skill that will serve you well no matter what you do in life.
So we've got passion, adaptability, that digital-first mindset, deep empathy for the customer. But what about the role of artificial intelligence, AI? That popped up quite a bit in our sources. Like, how is AI transforming the world of product development?
AI is shaking things up, there's no doubt about it. And honestly, its role in product management, it's only going to grow in the coming years.
Okay, so paint a picture for us. How do you see AI impacting the work of product and services managers, say, 5, 10 years down the line?
Well, for starters, AI can analyze these massive data sets like customer behavior, market trends, competitor activity far faster and more efficiently than humans ever could.
We're talking like super-powered research assistant level here.
Exactly. But it goes beyond research. AI can automate tedious tasks like generating product descriptions, analyzing customer reviews, even personalizing user experiences.
Which frees up product and services managers to focus on the really creative stuff, right? Big picture thinking, that sort of thing.
Precisely. Imagine AI handles all the repetitive, data-heavy lifting, and you get to spend your time brainstorming, refining your product vision, ensuring it aligns with the company's overall goals.
That sounds ideal.
Right.
But with all this talk about AI, I have to ask, are robots going to take over this whole product and services manager thing altogether? Should we all be polishing our resumes for, like, robot overlord assistants?
It's the question on everyone's mind. And look, while AI can definitely automate a lot, and we've talked about those tasks, I truly believe the human element, it's always going to be essential in product management.
And why is that? Why can't a really, really smart machine just handle all of it?
Because at its core, product management is about understanding human needs and desires. It's about empathy, creativity, the ability to connect with people on an emotional level. These are qualities that are uniquely human.
So it's not just about crunching numbers and analyzing data. It's about using intuition, emotional intelligence to create products and services that people will genuinely connect with.
Exactly. And that's something that, at least for the foreseeable future, I don't see any machine replicating.
Okay, that's actually reassuring. So it's not about humans versus machines, but more like humans and machines, each playing to their strength.
Yeah, you're getting it. And that's what's so exciting about this field. It's a constantly evolving landscape where technology and human ingenuity, they intersect to create something truly remarkable.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the impact of AI, but our research also touched on another critical trend, sustainability, and how important it's becoming in the world of product development.
Yeah, sustainability, it's not just a buzzword anymore. It's a core value. It's something consumers are demanding from the companies they support.
And it seems like companies are finally listening, right? We're seeing more and more businesses integrate sustainable practices into their operations, into their product life cycles.
And product and services managers, they're on the front lines of this movement. They're championing sustainable design, ethical sourcing, responsible manufacturing. They have a real opportunity to make a difference.
So it's not just about creating a product that sells. It's about creating a product that's good for the planet, that aligns with, these conscious consumer values that are becoming more and more important.
100%. It's about thinking holistically, considering the environmental and social impact of every decision made throughout a product's entire life cycle, from the materials you source to the packaging you use.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is, but it's also an amazing opportunity to make a real difference in the world.
Absolutely. And for those aspiring product and services managers out there, a strong understanding of sustainability principles, that's not optional anymore. It's a must-have.
Totally agree.
So it's about more than just marketing and design, right? It's about being a well-rounded individual, someone who understands the big picture, someone who's passionate about creating a better future.
And using their skills and their influence to make that happen.
Now that's inspiring. And I love that we're able to touch on these really important and timely topics in our deep dive today. It's not just about giving our listeners information. It's about empowering them to make conscious choices.
And sometimes those choices mean challenging the status quo, right? Pushing for a better way forward.
It's about not being afraid to say, hey, we can do this better. But, okay, we've covered a ton in this deep dive. Everything from, like, the evolving role of the product and services manager to, whoa, the impact of AI, sustainability. It's a lot.
It really is.
But before we wrap things up, can we circle back to that core question? Like, what does it really take to thrive in this role? Not just survive, but really knock it out of the park.
The million-dollar question. And honestly, there's no magic formula, no one-size-fits-all answer. But if I had to distill it down, based on everything we've discussed today, a few key qualities come to mind.
Okay, hit me with those golden ticket traits.
All right, first and foremost, passion. Genuine passion for products and services, like that fire in your belly, that excitement about creating something new, bringing it into the world and seeing it succeed, that's essential.
Because let's be real, there are going to be challenges,
Yeah.
right? Long nights, maybe a product launch that doesn't go as planned. It's that passion that helps you weather those storms.
100%. And then you need that strategic mind. It's not enough to just love cool stuff. You got to understand the market, the trends, where your product fits into the bigger picture of the company's goals, all of that.
So a visionary, but with a really solid business sense.
Exactly. And I cannot overemphasize this enough, communication. You have to be a strong communicator. You are the bridge between so many different teams, the engineers who are building this thing, the marketers who are selling it. Being able to clearly articulate your vision, get everyone on board, that's critical.
It's like speaking multiple languages, but instead of French or Mandarin, it's marketing and software development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a multilingual master of products. And finally, in a field that moves as fast as this one, adaptability, resilience, those are non-negotiables. New technologies pop up overnight, customer needs change. You have to be okay with embracing that change, bouncing back from those setbacks.
So not just keeping up with the times, but having that sense of, like, adventure about where things might lead.
Because who knows what incredible innovations are just around the corner. The best product and services managers, the ones who are going to shape the future, they're the ones who can ride that wave of change with enthusiasm, with a real hunger to learn and grow.
That's both, like, terrifying and wildly exciting at the same time.
And honestly, I think that sense of excitement, that's what I hope our listeners take away from this. This isn't just a job, it's a whole field bursting with possibilities.
And we've just scratched the surface. I hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity, maybe inspired you to do a little digging of your own, explore those resources, and see where this path might lead.
And hey, maybe we'll even revisit this topic down the line, see what new developments have popped up, because this is an industry that definitely doesn't stand still.
Always evolving. Well said. So for all of you listening out there, whether you're seriously considering this as a career path or just, intrigued by the world of products and services, remember this: curiosity is your compass. Keep exploring, keep learning, and who knows what incredible things you might create.
Cheers to the innovators, to the changemakers.
Absolutely. And that, my friends, is a wrap on another deep dive. Until next time, stay curious out there.